In today's episode, we talk about the Willy Wonka effect and how we over-romanticize some of the foods and some of the habits that we eat around sugar and treats and stuff like that. Join us. Hi, I'm Brooke Lyons. A few years ago, I lost 50 pounds and finally got my life back. I've uncovered the tools that allowed me to keep the weight off and help hundreds of my clients also lead a healthy and vibrant life. Losing weight is only the beginning, and being happy and healthy is so much more than just a number on the scale. So join me as we discover how to thrive beyond weight loss. Welcome back to Thrive Beyond Weight Loss. I'm Dr. Brooke Lyons, and I'm here with Bri. Welcome, Bri.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here again.
Yay! We're so happy to have you. So today we're going to talk about the Willy Wonka effect.
Yes.
Yes. Willy Wonka effect, we were just kind of thinking about how things become normal, right? We don't even think about going to a party. Of course, there's going to be food, there's going to be sweets, there's going to be alcohol probably. But is that serving a greater good? Mm-hmm. Probably not. And as we, work towards thriving beyond weight loss, maybe you've lost all your weight and you're wanting to keep that off. Maybe you're not there yet. But hopefully you realize that there's no diet that will do this for the rest of your life. You can't diet for the rest of your life. We're going to have these temptations, but we also want to have fun. And have you noticed like how Hollywood, maybe all of us now, we glorify eating crap.
Mm-hmm.
It's
become our culture.
It really has. And we say the Willy Wonka effect just because today we want to really connect the dots between the fun of finding the golden ticket in the chocolate to realizing that it wasn't about the candy. Mm-hmm. It was about the experience that Willy Wonka wanted to provide, and also to wake people up. Like, the way you're doing it might not be the best way. You get to choose, but there was people who became giant blueberries and exploded in that movie. But it wasn't the blueberry; it was the candy. So,
yes.
So have you ever had that challenge in your family?
Oh yes, I've struggled with myself, but now with having two kids too, I find myself, trying to find that balance of it's like we don't need to involve treats and pizza and ice cream and everything every time we do something. It's kind of covering up the fact of what we're really trying to do, and it's the experience and connection that we're having with the people around us. We don't always need the junk food, but I think it's become wired in our brain and to need that. It's almost like an addiction in some way. Well,
literally, physiologically, it can be. If we have, I always say, like, we have holes. Everybody has these holes that they're life, right? There's sometimes other people dig the holes for us. Sometimes we dig the holes for ourselves, but we feel like the hole needs to be filled. Mm-hmm. And very often, it's not even a hole. Have you ever been driving on the highway and you're like, there's this mirage of black because the sun's hitting it right the place, but it looks like a giant hole, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's going to go all the way down. But you drive over and it's just a mirage. Yeah, I challenge you to consider maybe it's not a hole that we're trying to fill. It's just this mirage of, like, I don't have enough, I'm not enough, so-and-so's not doing what I need them. Like all the control we feel. But what I can always control is what goes in my mouth. But sugar will make me feel good. Mm-hmm.
And for just a short time.
I love that.
And I think a lot of it's boredom, too. Or like we are a society now where everything's just so like a close reach. And we're constantly needing entertainment, and we're not okay with just sitting and being. And I find myself with that too. It's with a phone right there, or TV that you can turn on. I think snacking is kind of the same type of thing. It's okay to be bored, and I'm trying not only reteach myself that, but my children. You can be bored, and my fiance has been a huge impact on that because of how he grew up and where he grew up a little bit more out in the middle of nowhere. And I love what he's bringing into our family and reteaching us, being outside or just sitting with yourself and being present, I think is such a big thing that I'm really trying to learn. And I think being present allows us also to not overeat and to realize that to make better decisions in the kitchen and when we're grocery shopping and
grocery shopping, that's where it starts, right?
And just when we're with our people. Being present with what we're here for. And it doesn't necessarily need to be the drinking or the snacks. It's the connection with the people that we love and what they bring to us.
There's at every seminar I've been to, and we go pretty much every weekend. My husband's either teaching at them, or sometimes I am, or we're learning for ourselves, because you can't give from an empty bucket.
No.
There we are talking about the bucket again, but you know, it's not. Sometimes I hear it and I'm like, oh, that again, presents, again. But it's because it's so darn important,
yes.
and it's so easy to miss it, because just think about. So my stepmother came and stayed with us. Our kids are in their 20s now, so it was like at least 10 years ago, and she never had kids, and she looked at me for one day. Making sure she had it with the kids were there. I was volunteering. I was doing all the things, practicing still. And she asked me this really important thing. She says, can you just write down what you do every day on a piece of paper? And I was like, sure. Because I was taking it as like, I can do that too. And I wrote down, and I don't know, maybe halfway through the task, I was like, oh, I see what she's doing here. And so bless her heart, because she was just like, she figured it out because she had clarity. She had presence.
Yeah.
She wasn't bogged down by all these things, and never has been. And when she saw me running like that, she'd never seen anything like this close hand, because she doesn't have her own children, and she doesn't have grandchildren, and she's never lived that life. But that's why we need friends of all different kinds.
Outside perspective.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then the next day, so I gave her my list that night, like overachiever. And so she says the next morning, she's like, thank you. You know, I got a chance to look at your list. I'd love to know what you do every month. And I was like, I know what you're doing. And she's like, no, I really do though. So I never thought about, because you know, it seems manageable because we're doing it right now. But what we don't realize is what we're doing physiologically to our body, and what we're doing psychologically to our mind, and what we're training others. Because we are capable. We are women. I've never been a man, so I can't have that perspective. But I can tell you, as a woman, we take on everything because we can. But that doesn't mean we should.
No.
Right?
Yeah, I'm having to relearn that every day. It's very difficult because, like, I keep bringing up my fiance, but I think it's kind of like your stepmom with an outside perspective.
Right.
Your son is more than capable of picking out his clothes in the morning,
right,
filling up his water bottle.
Yes.
But it's just like, I've always done that. Like, why can't I do that? Why?
Right.
I feel like
value.
But really, we're not setting them up for success in life either.
Right.
If we constantly are trying to control, which is a word we use often here, everything around us. And I think taking a step back and focusing on your needs, and like that others can help you and take care of things for you, will allow you to be more present and make better decisions throughout your day because you're not as stressed. And
I used to do something for myself where it was at a time in my life where I had no peace. Like, I was doing everything for everybody else, which you'd think would make you feel good, but it's temporary because it's not it wasn't deep enough, you know, to make that. And I had put peace on sticky notes all throughout my house. It was on my ceiling for when I woke up. It was for when in case I missed that, it was on my wall that I saw when I stood up. It was on my kitchen. It was in my bathroom. It was in my car. Because we need to pick a word, right? You hear people doing that. They pick a word of the year. Just pick a word right now of what it is you want the most in your life. Because for me, when it was peace, and I had that reminded all over my house, hey, if I wasn't having a moment of peace, it grounded me to be like, oh, so what can I do differently that will actually get me what I really want? Because, I mean, it needed to be in all those places, because those are all the places where I would lose touch with what I really wanted to create in myself and my family. And it was there for years.
I love
like
that.
It was, and I'd have to replace them because I don't know what the air does to them, but they would fall off, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm rewriting it.
Try something like that.
I love
something.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great reminder.
Something to bring you back. My husband and I recently did a challenge, and every hour we had our alarm set, and mine said, feel it, because another thing we do is without presence, we forget to feel what's going on, because it's so easy. I mean, if we felt everything that was bad or good, well, no, bad, because that's what we tend towards.
Yeah.
It just brings us down. And it makes it really hard to focus on what we want to create because we don't even know what we want to create. So then where are we?
Right.
We're a baffled mess of like, I guess I got to go to bed and start this over again tomorrow. But without that focus, we just start and do the same thing tomorrow that we did today.
Right. And that negative focus can lead to the binge eating or
Yes.
the feel good foods that, temporarily make us feel better. And then we're in our kind of pity party of, well, I deserve this because I had a bad day. And you do deserve peace, but you can find it in other ways. And I think that's what I'm continuing to learn is
Always.
yeah, for sure.
We'll always be learning. We'll always be upping the level. We'll be going down and coming back up. That's normal. I want you to know right now that that's normal. I used to think that one day I'd figure all this stuff out and I'd just sail along. I don't know why we get these fantasies. But it's a fantasy. It's not the truth. It's just like Willy Wonka's candy
It's a
shop,
coping
right?
mechanism, I think.
It is. And unless we're having conversations like this, we don't understand that a lot of people go through this. And it's very normal. It's very, how do I say this? It's very common anyways. I don't know what normal is anymore for this topic.
Right.
But sugar seems to be a really great way to reward ourselves because it is physiological. It will give you hormone reactions and dopamine, and you will feel better for a minute.
Yes, but then you can get the same fix from going outside in the sunlight or putting your bare feet in the ground or getting a hug.
I was just going to say, or hugging someone. Because what do they say? It's like you really need like 70 hugs a day. I don't know how that could happen.
I know.
But that's, get one. Get one more than you have today or yesterday. So the candy too, I wanted to kind of touch on that because candy is such a reward. It's not just a physiological reward. It can be really a psychological reward. I kind of joke with people in my room. I take a picture of people every time they come in. And I can't use that picture unless you give me permission. But I had a lady and she was deeply abused. Actually, I've had a couple of people with these similar stories. Deeply abused as a child. And her reward for like, I'm so sorry we did that, was a cookie.
That's heartbreaking.
And so we get a lot of tender stories in our office because we don't understand that the weight that we accumulate and the habits that we accumulate are for a reason. They're not just because we're not bad people, we're not stupid, there's nothing wrong with us. It's just that
trauma.
We have these holes that people make for us and that we think are our holes. This stuff was not her hole, but they were making it her hole. And so she had lost a lot of weight, this particular woman. And you know what? There's been 3 cookie experiences. So don't reward your kids with cookies when things are bad that happens.
Yeah.
You've heard my McDonald's story. I haven't had McDonald's in 6 weeks. I don't want to jinx it. But I've been, you don't probably even know yet, but I've been addicted to McDonald's, a Big Mac, since I was 19.
Oh, wow.
I'm 55 at the moment. And so pretty much every week I would have that because I felt good or I felt bad. It was conditioned in me for both. And so, but maybe I'm getting over that. I'm not sure yet. 6 weeks, but I'll take the 6 weeks.
Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
that's
pretty
amazing.
awesome. But life is like that. We are constantly, if you're younger and you're listening to this thinking, I couldn't even be 55, well, guess what? You're still going to have experiences at this age.
Yes.
So back to the conditioning. So she had lost like a lot of weight in her first month. I think she was like 25 pounds. That's a lot. But she was a very large woman. So this one lady had that to lose in the first month. But remember, we do this by eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, fruit, vegetable, meat, and healthy fat. But she had sodas, diet sodas, I think it was 15 of them a day.
Wow.
15 of them a day. And so she knew that wasn't what she wanted to do, but she could not nick the habit because she was alone trying to do it, right? So she needed somebody to partner up with her, which is what we did. But then for 3 months, she lost over 50 pounds.
Wow, that's incredible.
Oh my gosh. And she was a completely different person. I knew it because I'd seen her from the beginning, right? And I had pictures. But she was, I have this little movable table in my office, the little square table, rectangle. I actually had just like, she's talking, she's coming at me, right? And so I'm kind of moving the table like between us to just give her boundaries. I don't know. I don't think she would have come at me, but she was so mad at me, because this was her 4th month and she lost like 7 pounds.
Okay.
but she was used to losing so much more. And there's lots of programs out there. Well, you'll lose 100 pounds really fast, but you won't keep it off because they taught you nothing. They didn't help you.
Right back.
You do, because they don't change those habits and they don't have these conversations. So in my soul, I'm thrilled that she's having this conversation with me because I know it's going to lead to what on earth is going on here.
Right.
Because 7 pounds is not bad.
No, and it slows down. I mean, you don't have as much to lose
Exactly.
over months. Yeah.
But I knew there was something more because she was really upset.
Yeah.
And it came to this story.
Oh, wow.
And then I said, well, the
breakthrough.
The reason it happened is because, with older people, sometimes I don't just go on my phone because I can get my notes. It's a protected medical device, but I can get it on my phone. And so sometimes it's just small and fits in my pocket. But I had my iPad with me that day, thankfully. And I was like, do you mind if I just check your file again? What I was doing was pulling up her pictures.
Yeah.
And her first day picture. And so she kind of started to ease down because sometimes we just need to get these things out. And I mean, if it's about me and my service, yeah, I'm listening and I'm, making notes to change, but nothing on this was us. It was just stuff going on within her. So anyways, I pulled up her picture and I showed it to her and she just started to bawl.
Oh,
She did, she had her grandchildren's pictures all over her mirror. She never saw herself, but I know she's seen herself recently because she started to cry when she's like, I didn't know. I didn't know that I looked like that.
This is why we love what we do.
I mean,
that's amazing.
So, but she knows what she looks like today though.
Yeah.
And I think she just was not willing to look before, but now she saw some weight coming off. So she probably was like peeking through the pictures.
Yeah. It's hard to be vulnerable
to yourself sometimes. But that's when it came out. She's like, I've been eating. Well, actually, she didn't even come out with it. It was a conversation, and this is what's happened another time. It took me 27 minutes to get to a lady who was eating cookies every night, but she didn't even know she was doing it. It was like
a habit.
Oh my gosh! And I go from morning. If you're having trouble losing weight, like if you haven't lost weight in 3 days in a row, I want you to let me know because usually it's that we have to add food because you're not a couch potato.
Yeah.
So none of the answers were yes. She wasn't constipated. She was doing her program. It was fine. So I go from when you wake up to to the night, right? So 27 minutes to get to before bed. I go, what's your bedtime routine? She's like, well, I wash my face and then I put my pajamas on and then I, whatever. And then I eat my cookie and I go to bed.
Cookie?
I go, what cookie's that? She's like, oh. This is cookie stories. It's a cookie story day, not a candy stories.
Just becomes part of their life. I mean, and everyone, like brushing your teeth.
Yes. But the brushing our teeth is a great example because would you ever stop brushing your teeth? No. Why?
It's for your health.
What and why? What?
I know.
What happens
I always
if you stop?
used that a couple years ago. We brush our teeth, we shower, we maintain, hygiene. And it's not just to look good and smell good. I mean, a lot of it has health benefits. So we can implement that in our day-to-day health with nutrition.
Yes. And that's the gap sometimes. We understand brushing our teeth every day because we don't want a cavity. We don't want to spend all that money fixing our teeth and then having the pain and all the things. But we forget that nutrition. Somebody emailed, I have a friend in Iraq and he is trying to learn the English language as well. So we have conversations. We took a class together 10 years ago. But he said something he was asking about exercise and stuff. And he said, is that like a part of God for you? Because we have these conversations and it's good for him to practice talking about different issues. And so I was like, it wasn't food. It was God. It was food. Actually, it was. I can't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. Whatever it was, he was asking me, and I said, he said, is that health? And I said, health used to be eating well, having time with your family, laughing, walking, moving your body. Only in the last 100 years did it become medication and surgery.
Yes.
So these things,
think about that.
I know. And so this is what I love about having friends around the world or just friends in general, because he was trying to put together, it was yoga. He asked me about yoga. And so I don't really do yoga. I have no problem with yoga. Yoga is a great way to move your body. But he was asking me if it should be part of his medical, his health regime.
Yeah.
And he called it medical regime. But then I don't know if that's the translation or not. So, but anyways, something to think about, right? Like, what are the habits that you're doing? You're brushing your teeth every day for your teeth. I know you are. What are you doing for your health and wellness? And what implication? See, congruency is a big part of this. If we're saying we want to be vibrant and healthy and feel good in our body and have our clothes fit the way we want to, how is the candy fitting into that?
Right.
Right? Because if it's once a week, yay, have it once a week in moderation. But if it's every day, it's feeding a whole. It's feeding the whole.
Yeah.
What is the whole? Maybe if you could just go see that. Maybe it's not even your whole. Maybe it's what your parents taught you.
Yeah.
You know, this lady we started with, who's being abused every night. It was not. They had issues, man. To do that to your children, maybe that happened to you. But what habits did you develop because of their problems? That's where it.
Right.
Dig deep. Dig deep. Because you're going to find it, but also make sure that you have some care around you and some support, whether that's your psychologist, if you have the issues with these things. Never do this alone. No. It's just, this is not an alone journey. You know, we were even doing the podcast together.
Yes.
Because one person's opinion is just not enough.
Right. I mean, I find like with my struggles, anytime I'm struggling, I kind of become a recluse. And that's,
me too.
To me, the worst thing for me when I'm struggling is I need connection, I need support, I need, and it's okay to ask for help. And I think we need that support and connection around us to get through those tough times.
I agree. And it can be the worst, hardest time to reach out.
It is.
Because I think a lot of us are trained to know that, and whether it's true or not, like nobody cares, like, or they don't understand. And that's true. And if your friends are solvers, that's nice to keep those friends, but it's also nice to get new ones. Well, that's why coaching is so important too, because your coach will never be like, oh, everything's fine, just keep going. I love you the way you are.
No, you need honest people.
You need somebody who asks you a question, well, like, so why is that not working in your life? That's kind of what we do. We coach people too, because what I tell you to do has no relevance on your life necessarily. We got to find the ways that work for you, because if you don't travel ever, well, actually, if I don't travel ever and you're a traveling person, I got to ask you the questions, because I wouldn't understand what it's like to always be in airports and sleeping in weird times and in weird places, and you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's why the program is so customized to each individual, and that's life. I mean, we're all different. And we all live a different life, but our bodies are made up differently too. And
although also the same. So the physiology is something that we just never learn about.
Yeah.
It's time to learn about that. So, well, thank you so much for joining us. It's always so much fun. I love having you on, Bri. It's fun. So today, I'd really like you to take inventory on what you're doing in your life around candy and junk food. We talked about cookies. Doesn't matter what that thing is, but it's the thing that you know isn't serving you in your life. Go ahead and write those things down. Take inventory for the next day, right? And then tomorrow decide you're going to do it again, and do it for 7 days. Have grace with yourself if you forget. You probably don't even need to do it all day, but it's just interesting to see what will come up for you. And reach out to us if you need some support and some coaching. But if where you're watching has a place to write it in the comments, we would love to talk with you more. Join the Body Bella Facebook page. Because there's so much work to be done, and you don't have to do it alone. I'm Dr. Brooke Lyons.
And I'm Bri.
And we are so glad you joined us for Thrive Beyond Weight Loss.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on the Thrive Beyond Weight Loss podcast belong solely to the host and guest speakers, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any associated organizations or health professionals. The content provided is for informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider with any questions regarding a medical condition or health objectives.